Today, we're doing something a little different. Instead of one big topic, we're taking a look at five separate snapshots. They're all about daily life and recent events in Pattaya, Thailand. And the info comes from news sources dated around August 15th and 16th, 2025.
Yeah, it's a really interesting approach, actually. You get to see the pulse of a place,
Huh.
how these events that seem unrelated kind of come together to paint a picture.
Yeah.
Our job today is basically to unpack these reports, traffic stuff,
Yeah.
crime, even sports prep. We want to give you that clear, factual overview, just the essentials, no fluff.
Okay, let's get into it then. First up, the roads in Pattaya. We've got a couple of reports here that, well, they show some of the typical challenges you find in a busy city.
Exactly. Two different traffic incidents, both happened on August 16th, 2025, and they really do highlight some common issues, especially, when things like the weather get involved.
Okay, so tell us about the first one. What are the details?
Right, so this one was early Saturday morning, about 6 a.m., Highway 331 near Pattaya. A white Honda City sedan, it hit the back of a trailer truck. The driver of the car was a 24-year-old musician, Suthanan Somjit. He got some minor leg injuries. His girlfriend was with him. She got some chest bruising from the impact.
Okay, and they got help.
Yeah, the Songang Burabun Rescue Center folks were there, gave first aid, took them to the hospital. The truck driver, with upon Fanatry, he was 34, he stayed at the scene to give his statement.
And what did the car driver say happened?
He said it was raining hard, the road was slippery, and he basically lost control. The police are still looking into the exact cause, figuring out charges and all that.
Makes sense. Slippery roads, heavy rain. A familiar story, unfortunately. What about the second incident?
Okay, the second one was also on August 16th, but a bit earlier, around 5:30 a.m. This was a collision involving multiple motorcycles. Happened on a road running parallel to the railway track in Soineran Plab 1 in Pattaya.
Multiple bites. How bad was it?
Pretty bad. There was a black Honda Scoopy, really badly damaged, and two Honda PCX bikes, one blue, one red, also damaged. Total of 5 people injured. They needed urgent hospital care after getting first aid from the rescue teams.
5 people.
Yeah.
Wow. Do we know who was involved?
Well, reports suggest 3 Thai women were on the Scoopy. Witnesses thought maybe they were triple riding. And the other 2 injured were believed to be Arab tourists. They were on the PCX bikes.
How did it happen?
Witnesses said the women on the Scoopy entered the soy and then collided with the tourists who were riding along the railway road. And like the first incident, it was apparently sprinkling rain at the time. So Nagpur police are on it, documenting the scene, gathering evidence, checking CCTV, trying to piece it together fairly.
So 2 crashes at different locations, different vehicles, but maybe similar contributing factors like the weather.
Possibly, yeah. And it does paint a picture, doesn't it? Busy city, lots of motorbikes, mix of locals and tourists. Road safety is clearly a constant challenge there. It's that daily reality that maybe isn't always obvious, beyond the beaches and nightlife.
Right. Okay, let's move on from the roads. Our next reports shift focus a bit. We're looking at local crime now and also how inquiries are trying to, well, keep things in order. This first one sounds quite disturbing, a home invasion.
It really does. This came to light on August 16th, 2025, when the victim, a Mrs. Suthrat Dijavan, appealed to the media. The whole thing actually started back in June 17th. Her daughter had some kind of dispute with local teens. It led to an altercation. Police complaints were filed by both sides. You know how these things can start.
But then it got much worse.
Much worse. On July 7th, around 11 p.m., a large group of teenagers, maybe 20 or 30 of them on motorbikes, they showed up at Miss Suthrat's home in Banglamong, and they were armed. Reports mention guns and ping-pong bombs.
Ping-pong bombs, what are those exactly?
They're basically small, often homemade explosives. They make a loud bang, used more for intimidation, property damage, scary stuff. They apparently threw these bombs, damaged the family's car, other property. And when Mrs. Suthrat tried to see what was going on, someone apparently brandished a gun at her.
That's terrifying. What happened to the family?
They felt they had to leave their home. They were too scared of more attacks, so they relocated. Mrs. Suthrat reported it all to Banglamong police, but when she spoke to the media over a month later, she was really concerned. Said there was basically no progress on the case.
No progress. Why?
Well, this is where it gets worrying. She voiced fears that the attackers might be protected by shadowy, influential figures. She was pleading for the police to speed things up, for justice, to stop it happening again.
Wow. Shadowy, influential figures. That adds a whole other layer, doesn't it? It really makes you wonder about, power dynamics and access to justice for ordinary people there.
Exactly. It's a stark reminder that beneath the surface of any city, you can have these really difficult, complex situations. It raises serious questions about accountability and trust, things that are crucial for any community.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so on one hand, you have this distressing story of justice potentially stalled. But then we also see authorities taking very visible action in another area of Pattaya's nightlife.
That's right, complete contrast, almost. This was an operation on August 15th, late evening, around 10:30 p.m., ordered directly by the Chonburi governor, Mr. Thwachai Srithon. It was a joint effort, provincial authorities, local officials, Pattaya City Police, all involved.
And what was the goal?
Pretty clear cut.
Mm-hmm.
Prevent illegal activities, enforce what they call the 5 no measures, and a no drugs, no dealers policy. This policy actually came down from the deputy prime minister, so it has some weight behind it.
So where did they focus? What did they do?
They targeted nightlife spots in South Pattaya. Started with a place called 168 Garden. Went in, lights on, music off. Standard procedure. Then they did ID checks, random drug tests on the customers, over 200 tourists, both Thai and foreign.
And the results? At the first place, anyway.
At 168 Garden, they didn't find any illegal drugs or activities. But the operation wasn't just about catching people. It was also about sending a message to all the venues.
What kind of message? What are the rules?
They reminded operators about the strict regulations. Things like no one under 20 allowed in unless they work there. Nobody under 18 can work in these places at all. No weapons unless you're an on-duty officer. No letting heavily intoxicated people cause trouble. And absolutely zero tolerance for drug activity.
And are there serious consequences for breaking these rules?
Oh, yeah. They laid out some serious penalties. If more than 20% of your staff or customers test positive for drugs, minimum 15-day suspension. If it's over 30%, you risk getting shut down for 5 years. Plus, everyone has to stick to the legal operating hours. No exceptions.
So it sounds like a pretty determined effort to clean things up, or at least maintain standards.
Definitely. It signals that the authorities are serious about managing the nightlife sector. It's likely tied to maintaining Pattaya's image,
Yeah.
especially as an international destination. They want it seen as safe and regulated.
Makes sense. Okay, finally, let's shift gears one more time. We're looking ahead now to something showcasing Pattaya on an international level, sports.
That's right. This report is about preparations for a major regional event, the 33rd AC Games, the Southeast Asian Games. Thailand is hosting from December 9th to 20th, 2025. And on August 16th, there was a key venue inspection right there in Pattaya at Jambutin Beach.
Okay, and who is involved in this inspection? Sounds important.
It was quite a delegation. You had the Windsurfing Association of Thailand, led by their Secretary General, Mr. Patana Boonsawat. Athletes were there too. They were meeting with people from the Singapore National Olympic Council, the NOC, headed by Mr. Anthony Lee, plus SCA Games technical officials and reps from the Sports Authority of Thailand and Chonburi Province, a lot of stakeholders.
So what were they actually looking at? What needed checking?
They were inspecting the venues for windsurfing, jet skiing, and paragliding. They looked at everything, the competition setup, start areas, safety measures on the water, which is crucial. Also checked accommodation, medical facilities, basically making sure it all meets international standards.
So just assessing readiness, essentially.
Exactly. Checking all the boxes to ensure the venues and facilities are up to scratch for the games. The findings from this visit get reported back to the Singapore NOC chairman, and that info helps Singapore prepare their own athletes for competing in Pattaya later in the year. It really shows the level of detailed planning involved in hosting an event like this. Puts Pattaya on the map for sports.
Right. So quite a diverse set of snapshots we've covered there.
Yeah, when you pull back, we've gone from, everyday road accidents
Yeah.
to some really serious local crime concerns and police responses, and then right through to these meticulous preparations for a huge international sports event.
It really does paint a picture of a city that's, well, constantly moving, juggling lots of different things at once.
It absolutely does. You see the challenges, the efforts to maintain order, the forward-looking ambitions. It's all happening simultaneously. It shows the complexity, the layers that make up the reality of a place like Pattaya.
It definitely gives you a glimpse into those varied rhythms of urban life that you don't always see.
And I think that raises a really interesting question, doesn't it? For any city, really. How much of its day-to-day reality do we actually perceive beyond, the main headlines or the image it projects?
Something to think about. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and join us next time